Hey everyone, I am Stephanie Pope from Pole to Pastern. We are a holistic animal business, so we provide acupressure, red light therapy, and aromatherapy to dogs, cats, and horses. Today I wanted to discuss acupressure, and acupressure is a method from traditional Chinese medicine that allows us to help the animal, again in a holistic way, but it's preventative care as well as complementary care to our veterinary guidance for certain conditions. If your animal is experiencing any sudden change, please call your vet first, and then we can do acupressure. So a little history on acupressure is it started with farm animals in China, and the Chinese people wanted to keep their animals healthy so their crops will continue growing. And then they saw how well it was doing for animals, and they decided to do it for themselves. And acupuncture evolved, and we used needles. And today we are going back to animals to help our domestic animals and keeping them happy and healthy. So acupressure points are light pressure, and we can do them ourselves. I am nationally certified in acupressure, but you can still do it. It won't harm your animal. There are points that are contraindicated for pregnant animals, and that is the only thing you have to worry about. So if you have a pregnant animal, maybe you shouldn't do some points. Some points are safe, but other points might cause early lactation or abortion. So those are the only scary things about acupressure, and today I'm going to show you some points. But a little more about acupressure is there's 361 points. Each one has its own function, and each one will help the area in which it is located. And I'll discuss that as we talk about our points. And it is light pressure. We don't want to push hard. We are trying to increase blood flow so the nutrients and vital substances will get to the certain areas that we're trying to work. And the method that I use in traditional Chinese medicine and acupressure sessions are looking for conditions. I use yin and yang as kind of like a baseline of what points I should choose for your pet. If your animal is tired and lethargic and sleepy, maybe he's cold, these are yin characteristics. So remember our yin and yang and our symbol, we're trying to balance that symbol. So if we have one that's more than the other, then we want to bring balance back. That is what I mean when we bring balance. We want to keep them even. If you have a yang characteristic, that'd be hyperactivity, can't calm down really quickly after play, and it's daytime and hot. These are yang characteristics that help me and help guide me to which points to use in a session. I can also use the elements: fire, earth, water, metal, wood, and I can use those. There's no air. Fire, earth, metal, water, wood. And I also, during a session, will look for releases. So releases are what we look for. You can look for as well when you're doing your points. A lick, a chew, a yawn, maybe some gas. These are good signs. These are signs that we have broke the stagnation in the animal, and stagnation is what we call, that causes the pain of the animal. So the point that we're working hopefully will break that stagnation and help release the blood flow. So that is our release. So look for those when you're doing your animal. Some of them are a little stoic, so they might just give you a blink. That's okay. After you do your points, you might see your dog get up, shake it all out. That is excellent. That is what we're looking for. The changes that we can see after acupressure points are in a 24-hour cycle. So we might see something the next day, or your pet might react sooner and you might see him more happy, or maybe he's just resting it out for a moment. So look for something the next day. The more you do these points, the more you will find that the animal will enjoy it. He won't think that you're a little sketchy, kind of like hanging out with them weird, but that's what I experienced. Some animals are like, who is this person? And they're like, oh man, that feels good. So you'll experience some of those things. It is preventative care, complementary to your vet, and you can do them every other day. And so again, light touch. I'm going to show you some points. I know my doggy is a little stiff. It might be a little hard to find some points. I'm going to show the best I can for you. You hold each point for 30 to 45 seconds. Again, not hard. I stress that because a lot of people are like, oh, it's light touch, and they kind of like hold really hard. Just kind of lightly touch. It's all about the intent. We're here to heal. You're doing good, okay? Just light touch. So the point we're going to talk about first is LI4. So my dog doesn't have toes. So here's my toes. And here is my dew claw. Yay, dew claw. So it's right in that middle of that dew claw. So there's the outside of the dew claw, and you go on the inside. And I know your dogs don't have this long dew claw, but it's right in there. If you have a small dog, you can still hold the point. You can hold it on top. These points are not tiny little itty bitty pinpoint points like we think in acupuncture. These points are large energy bubbles, okay? We're using our energy to help move their energy. This is chi. I'm talking about chi. Chi is our life force energy. So we're working kind of like areas of the body that have these little accessible points of chi. So when we talk about this, you can use 2 fingers, 1 finger. You can use your palm of your hand to hold the point, or 2 or 1, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. You are there to heal, and that is what you're doing. So again, if you have a little dog, you can hold on top of that. You're still touching it. Your fingers are big compared to his toes, but it'll still work. If you have a big dog like a Great Dane or a Husky, you can still find that dew claw. If your pet does not have a dew claw anymore, or he had it removed or whatnot, it is called like a ghost acupressure point, so it's still there. So you find that scar, and it'll be on that bottom part of that scar. Okay, so you have that little scar where it's gone. It'll be on that bottom point, and you can hold that little bottom tip of that scar. So LI4, this is LI4, good for face and mouth. If your dog is going in for a dental exam or getting a cleaning, you can do it before and after to help prepare your dog, help healing process, and this point will help with arthritis in the leg, the feet, the shoulder. It helps with many other things other than the face and mouth, and it's just a great point for all around. You can do this every other day, like I mentioned, and it helps your dog with any issues up there or on his leg. These points are bilateral, so they're on both sides. Do both sides, okay? Do both sides for 30 to 45 seconds or until your dog releases. If your dog yawns, licks, chews, before that, you can do it. You can release, or you can keep holding. Whatever you're feeling and what your dog's telling you, you can do whatever, because you're still healing the animal. So our next point is BL40. So we find that rump where it kind of slopes down, and it'll be in that first area where that leg kind of falls in. These points are all in crevices and like between muscles and tendons. They're never on the belly. So if you're unsure, you just kind of trace down and you'll fall into a hole, and that usually is where your acupressure point is. Okay, and again, it's a big energy bubble. If you're kind of off, it's still okay. You're still touching it. So from the back view, it'll be right here. So it's in that little dip right below that rump. It's in the middle, kind of in the middle. And this is for back and hips, arthritis in the hips, back issues. Great point for anything in the hind area, weakness. And even if your animal doesn't have these things, this is good preventative care. It helps prevent things to happen. Okay, so we have large intestine 4, LI4, and each point is associated with an organ in the body and helps the organs as well. And so that's LI4, BL40. And if you have any questions, let me know. I also teach classes if you want more hands-on, and I can show you in person. I usually go over in my talks. I actually have like a little class plan because I usually will tell you everything. I love sharing information about this. I love talking. If you have any questions on what point to use for your dog, let me know. I'm totally open to sharing this cool, amazing modality with you. So let's see, we've got our biggest point coming up. This point is going to be hard for me to show because he is stiff, and it's near that kneecap. So the best way I can show it is telling you how to find it. But again, they're in dips, so there will be a dip here. If you find the area close to it, you're still helping. So we find our kneecap. I'm gonna wrestle my buddy here. So our kneecap, and I'm kind of just pretending he has a kneecap. We find our kneecap, we kind of go slightly below and kind of lateral on that outside. So his knee kind of goes down. So we find that kneecap and we kind of go down and lateral. There will be a dip. This one's a good place to find a dip. It's hard because you feel the kneecap and there's dips there, but just kind of guide yourself. In horses, it's a lot easier. There's like a little cheat. If you have a Great Dane or a big animal, you can put your palm on that kneecap and you literally kind of twist, and it's that right there. So you'll find that, I think my fingers are a little too big or long for this guy, but each point is found by using a CUN, C-U-N, and it's proportional to the animal's size. So horses is pretty good rule of thumb to use a hand. They're pretty big animals. But this is our gastrointestinal tract. Helps any lack of appetite, stomach issues, seizures. This point can do just about anything and help with anything, any conditions. If you have a question or you think that, you know, hey, my animal has this or whatnot, use this point. This is your all-around point, okay? This is ST36. It is a great point. Use this point. Of course, if your dog has a sudden change or a wound or something, call your vet first, then we can use these points, okay? This is traditional Chinese medicine is great, amazing, cool little modality we can use, but the veterinary practice has come out with so many helpful ways to help our pet in emergency situations. So just use them as your primary, but we are complementary. Use these points after. Pair it with what your vet tells you. So back to our points. Stomach 36, ST36, again, it's paired with the stomach, so it helps all the stomach issues. It also helps the stifle, that's that kneecap area, any arthritis in there. Our BL40, that's paired with the bladder, helps the bladder issues as well. And the back and hips, because it's located in the back of the hips. So our large intestine 4, LI4, is up here in that declaw. So we've gone over 3 points, and I'm going to tell you about a point that is really good for anxiety and calming the spirit, and helps with trust. If your dog or cat or horse gets spooked easily, this point you can use. So this point is not bilateral, it is directly on the dorsal midline. So we will find it, hug me little doggy, in the middle. So our shoulder blades are here. We're going to find it on that dorsal midline, and it's going to be a little bit forward of those shoulders. So it's kind of where the neck and the back meet. It's in between that area. So you kind of just follow and it'll kind of dip. That is our GV14. This is great for anxiety. Use this point often. Our dogs might be curious as to why we are spending a lot of time at home. This might give us a little anxiety. Oh, here's my little kitty. So use this point as as great point for our anxiety. All these points are found in the exact same spot, except for horses. Horses have hooves as us. So if you find a point that you would like to use on yourself and it might help you, you can always try that. And that would be on the back of our neck as well. So we've got 4 points, and one more point I'm going to discuss is Bak-Way. So it's not spelled how it sounds. It's B-A-I-H-U-I. Look, I even forgot. But that's Bak-Way. So this is that big, huge energy point that I told you. It's in between that sacral area on the dorsal midline as well. So it's a great spot where, and he's got a curly tail, where we like to itch them, and where they like it. That's a good spot. That is our good energy spot. So we like to itch that spot. That is a good calming spot, and good for anxiety as well. Back and hips, any issues with arthritis back here, weakness, and it's not specifically on a meridian line. Well, it's on a meridian line. It's not associated with an organ. So these two are not associated with organs because they're on the dorsal. There's also ventral lines as well. And I forgot to mention that large intestine 4 is contraindicated. Stomach 36 is contraindicated to pregnancy as well. So do not use these, okay? If your animal is pregnant. This is our only biggest concern. Do not use those points. And if you have any questions or want to, learn through a class, I'm available for that. Please let me know. And I love sharing. And I hope you found this video really informative and actually fun with a surprise kitty. His name is actually Kitty because we couldn't find a name, and then he just kind of stuck to it. So I actually haven't even named this guy. Maybe he should be Doggy. But anyway, thanks guys. I hope you have a great day, and hope to see you soon.